Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Mahnoor and you watch MK Vid. Today I'll speak about one of the 5 pillars of Islam, about fasting. The 5 pillars of Islam are the fundamental Islamic beliefs that remind Muslims every day of the teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and help to put Him first in every aspect of the life. It helps to establish a link between Muslims and the supreme power. We follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to structure our life, beliefs and devotion. These 5 pillars also guide the believers to overcome challenges in life and form the elements of Islam. I have already told you about 3 pillars of Islam in my previous videos, so the topic of my today's video is fasting. Allah the Almighty says in the Holy Quran, "O you who believe, fasting has been prescribed for you, as it had been prescribed for those communities who came before you, so that you may guard yourself against displeasing Allah." Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 183. According to this ayat, the tradition of fasting is not unique to Islam. Even the Christians and Jews are familiar with this tradition. How do the Muslims fast? Fasting for Muslims means that all physically fit and mature Muslims have to totally and completely abstain from food, drink, smoking and sexual activity. This abstinence has to be exercised every day from dawn till dusk. The Holy Quran says, "It is made lawful for you to have sexual relations with your wives during the night of the fast." Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 187. The same ayat further says, "Eat and drink until the white thread becomes visible from the black thread, and then complete the fast till night time." So during the month of Ramadan, the daily schedule of a Muslim family changes. We get up while it is still night time to have our pre-dawn meal, and then go without food, drink or smoking for the entire day. The length of the days of Ramadan is different. It depends on the season in which that month occurs. The Islamic calendar is based on the lunar system. It is 10 days shorter than the common calendar. An Islamic month begins with sighting of the new moon and ends upon the sighting of the next new moon. When Ramadan occurs in winter, the days are shorter and it is easier to fast. But when Ramadan occurs in summer, the days are longer and it is not so easy to fast. This is one example of the justice and fairness by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that all people may fast through various seasons. And that is why the lunar system of calendar is preferable for the religious rituals. Maybe you want to ask if anyone exempted from fasting. Of course, Islam is a practical religion. The old-aged people and sick people, those who are traveling, the pregnant woman and the nursing mother, all such people are exempted from fasting during the month of Ramadan. Some of those people have to make up the days they have missed when their situation returns to normal, while some are accepted totally. As the Quran says, Allah desires ease for you and He does not desire for you difficulty. Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 185. There are many reasons and benefits to fasting. Some are spiritual and some of social nature. The fasting during the month of Ramadan is not for atonement or repentance. It is not a sort of punishment. It is a religious ritual for a positive purpose. In the ayat mentioned earlier, which makes fasting an obligation on Muslims, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so that hopefully you may guard yourself against displeasing Allah. This is also translated as you may become pious or more aware of Allah. This points to the spiritual purpose of fasting. As we all know, Allah has created various powers within us. On the one hand, we have soul and consciousness, the spiritual dimension, and on the other hand, Allah has also created the elements of anger and desire in us. Anger is the power that repels whatever we think to be harmful to ourselves, and desire is the element within us which attracts whatever we perceive to be beneficial to us. There is a constant struggle between the soul, the conscience, and the reason on the one hand, and the powers of anger and desire on the other hand. All our emotions and physical desires can be classified under anger and desire. But these dimensions of human life are important for our survival in this world. Islam says that a successful human being is a person who controls the powers of anger and desire by the means of his soul, conscience, and reason. Islam wants its followers to be in control of their lives and not become slaves of their desires. The month of Ramadan is an annual training program for Muslims to strengthen our soul and spirit, to energize ourselves spiritually by strengthening the willpower. Fasting is a spiritual program by which one can bring the powers of anger and desire in control of one's soul and reason. How does the fasting of Ramadan help us in this way? Well, by totally abstaining from food, drink, sexual activity, the strongest of desires that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created within us for 29 or 30 days will surely strengthen our spirit and soul. We will gain more willpower and be more in control of ourselves, rather be slaves of desires. Of course, there are many other days in the Islamic calendar when fasting is recommended, but not obligatory. The month of Ramadan also has a distinct social dimension. When Muslims fast during the daytime in Ramadan, we are hungry and thirsty. And during that period of hunger and thirst, we can relate more to the suffering of the hungry and the poor people in the community and around the world. Fasting helps to develop willpower and teaches the art of patience. It develops obedience for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and helps to control desires. It is an opportunity for believers to surrender themselves in the complete devotion of the Almighty. I hope this video was useful for you. If you see some mistakes or you want to complete the given information or give your examples, write comments. I am interested in your opinion. Bye for today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.